So after doing some thinking, I've been going about paying my mortgage down early the wrong way. I'm looking at it from the wrong direction. And I'm also thinking about retiring early. So let's talk about the big change that I am making. Hey everyone, it's Road to Retire, the channel where I try to retire early. Pretty self-explanatory, right? So originally I was paying $1,000 on top of my minimum mortgage payment to go straight to principal to try and pay off the house as quickly as possible. I just got into a new mortgage December of 2022, so we're fresh into it. We had a high interest rate just because of the environment. So my mentality going on was, well, in order to retire early, I need to pay this house off ASAP and get out of debt. But it got me thinking, and I'm not sure what spurred it. Maybe I subliminally thought about a video or something I watched in the past or something. But instead of putting that extra $1,000 and putting it to the principal of the house and trying to pay that off as soon as possible, I think it would be better served if I put that $1,000 into the high yield savings account that my wife and I currently have. So my wife and I currently have a very nice nest egg of money sitting in the high yield dividend account, and right now it's getting over 4%. Now I'm well aware that that number is going to go down as the government lowers the federal funds rate. However, right now over 4% is phenomenal for a high yield savings account where you can't lose any money. And also I don't foresee it going below 3% by the end of this year. So I'm going to be getting at least 3% of my money. We're going to be growing that money. And here's also the other aspect of it. So having this huge nest egg in a high yield savings account is great. And if we continue to fund that and give it more money, instead of putting that $1,000 against the house and then we never see that money again, it's basically for a future play of paying the house off early and then saving money when the house is paid off. Instead of that $1,000 and essentially going poof, now we could use that $1,000, get some interest on it, and build our wealth a lot faster. And the glory of it is if something were to happen, I lose my job, my wife loses my job, both of us lose our jobs. Well, now we have this giant nest egg where we can comfortably make minimum payments on the house and not have to stress as much. Because if we were continuing to pay this $1,000 in additional principal on top of the house every month, and then both of us were to lose our job, we still have a good sized nest egg. However, it's a lot more stressful to make minimum payments on the house just because, well, you could have been saving up that whole time. And then, you have a couple months to almost a year where you don't have to worry about it because you saved up this whole time. And now you can make minimum payments without worrying about having to pay the house if neither of us has a job. So that's just my thought process now. Theoretically, if the interest rate stays pretty high on this high yield savings account, we'll be able to build our total amount of money faster. It compounds, right? Compound interest. And then theoretically, we could put bigger chunks down on the house anyway in the future, just do a huge payment. So maybe like if we grow this for like a couple years or whatever, instead of doing this $1,000 on top additional month, maybe in a couple years, we'll just do a huge 150K, boom on the mortgage because we grew it a lot faster. We were able to grow our money instead of putting the $1,000 away and getting nothing out of it. So I think taking that $1,000 that would have gone to the principal, putting it into a high yield savings account, getting north of 4% right now is the way to go. It's the way to build more wealth rather than trying to eliminate debt. Because at the end of the day, I like having the safety net. I love having a huge nest egg, a huge safety net in high yield savings accounts. And the way to get to early retirement most of the times is to really, really build your wealth fast. And we're not going to build our wealth spending $1,000 and not getting anything out of it. We are going to get our wealth, taking that $1,000 and getting 4% and, letting our interest get interest essentially, because The nest egg right now is large enough where it's, yeah, like we are seeing very nice interest payments each month. It'd be nice to even grow that even more, and our interest will actually see valuable amounts of interest. It's not like, you know, if I'm putting this 1,000 into a dividend fund like I was with JEPI, where it's like I'm getting like, I don't know, I was getting $18 a month. You know, that $18 a month is gonna like, if I reinvest it, it's not going to really get me that much. It's not going to get me anything, but this is significant. This is serious compounding happening. So I think this is the right way to go. And I'm going to be putting, not only am I putting the $1,000 additional principal that we were doing into the high yield fund, I'm also going to be putting all my side hustle money into there too. Grow it as fast as I can. Worst case scenario is, you know, we both lose our jobs, but at least now we're going to have a butt ton more money in the, you know, nest egg, the savings account, and we don't have to be as fearsome. So you could argue this is both more an aggressive and a conservative play. It kind of plays into the argument of the age-old argument where it's like, oh, should you pay more on your house or should you take that money in investment? Oh, look at the return differentials, blah, blah, blah. So it's a form of that argument. And then the conservative side of the argument is you should always save up as much money as possible in case the, you know, the worst thing goes bad. It's great to have a humongous emergency fund, and that's currently what my wife and I are building. So if we build that up to, you know, really high levels and we're getting interest payments that are really high, you know, theoretically we should build our wealth a lot faster than we are putting $1,000 on the house. So I think it'll be better for us. It'll make us feel more comfortable having a huge nest egg. And, you know, down the line, maybe we will actually pay off the house faster because we're generating more money at a quicker pace because of the interest rate. So that's the big change that's happening to my retirement plan right now. So I'm still a huge believer in that. Like, I do need to pay the house off early in order to retire early. But I think I was just going about it maybe too aggressively for how young we are. Maybe we should try and build it up. You know, a lot of people would say you're better off taking that $1,000 and putting it into, you know, like the S&P 500 or whatever. I like being a little bit more conservative, and especially getting 4+% interest a year. I think this isn't exactly like super conservative. Now, if the interest was only like 1%, okay, maybe we start talking investments, but at north of 4, let's try and get that much, you know, right now safely, no downside, and really grind it out. So that's the change that's been happening. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, please, I'm always interested in learning more on people who are already paid their house off or have, you know, expertise in this field. I'm always trying to learn more. So hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a road to retire. Have a good weekend, and I will see you in the next video.